So what do Greta Thunberg and Iranian Ayatollah Khamenei have in common? Well, they both love Hamas. They both love to cry victim when they infringe on sovereign territory and face the consequences. I stayed up late last night because I knew it was going to be a show. The selfie yacht of celebrities, the panic flotilla, the joke boat carrying a whopping 100 kg of flour and food, minus whatever they ate, and calling themselves a humanitarian aid vessel while it was gloriously intercepted after repeatedly warned by Israel not to approach an active war zone and cross into Israeli waters. Francesca Albanese making sure that everybody knew that the drones circling overhead were the dangerous ones. If you figure out what that means and why, you let us know. The amazing thing was the utter shock, the panic, as if nobody told them what happens to you when you ignore sovereign commands in an active war zone. They were not prepared, not at all. Nobody had their passports on them. They had positions that they were supposed to assume, presumably, because that's what the resident Spanish speaker on the boat kept saying. But nobody was assuming the position. Israel sprayed the ship with a smelly white deterrent, which was to keep them from frantically running all over the deck of the ship. And then they calmly intercepted the vessel. Then, in classic Israeli fashion, handed them challah bread, sandwiches, and drinks. Greta even finally cracked a smile. Israel rolled out Shayetet 13 for the job. The military kitchen workers probably would have sufficed, but Israel invests in their guests. What's next? Well, Israel will pack up the 12 foreign nationals and ship them back off to Europe from whence they came. Yep, it's that simple. End of story. So Iran is ready to fire back at the U.S. with a counter-proposal in the nuclear talks, slamming the latest American offer as unacceptable. Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghaei said that Tehran will deliver the response via Oman soon, though they're keeping the details under wraps. The U.S., led by President Trump, has been adamant about stopping Iranians' uranium enrichment, a major sticking point. Iran has basically come out and said that they will not be stopping their enrichment, which is a massive stalemate, and we'll have to see what happens between the U.S. and Iran now that the talks have basically completely fallen apart. The right-wing, ultra-Orthodox Shas party just lit a fuse under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition. Spokesman Asher Medina told Kol Barama Radio that Shas will vote to dissolve the Knesset on Wednesday, saying that they're very disappointed with Netanyahu, that they expected him to take action previously and not just in the past few days. But the deal breaker was the bill to exempt yeshiva students from the military draft, which never passed, a must-have for Shas and United Torah Judaism. The coalition has been on life support since Shas and UTJ started threatening to bail on them last week. Benny Gantz's National Unity Party threw gasoline on the fire, pulling all of its legislation to fast-track a Knesset dissolution vote, claiming that the coalition is clogging the agenda to duck it. With 68 of 120 Knesset seats, Netanyahu's coalition is hanging by a thread now. Shas's 11 seats could sink the ship if they team up with UTJ and the opposition. Israel's soul is on the line. Torah study versus wartime fairness. It's a fight that's tearing the nation apart. Netanyahu's got days to pull a miracle together, or it's election time. On another one, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is back on the stand at the Tel Aviv District Court, sparring in his corruption trial over Case 1000, the gifts case. He's charged with fraud and breach of trust for allegedly taking luxury goods worth hundreds of thousands of shekel from Hollywood mogul Arnold Milchan for supposed favors. Prosecutor Yonatan Tadmor pushed that Milchan's buddy act was about personal gain, citing a 2014 Hollywood visit where Milchan hosted Netanyahu with a bunch of other celebrities. Netanyahu shot back, calling Tadmor ridiculous. He said that if you think bringing a foreign minister from Israel or Austria will make an impression on Hollywood, it's just ridiculous. Milchan's one of the wealthiest producers in the world, and he needs some government clerk to increase his power. He claimed that Milchan just wanted to boost Israel's image, and that was it. For JFeed.com, this has been a very short Overnight Israel, but we will catch you on the flip side next time.